Hello, it's always a pleasure coming your way. This is Good Afternoon Ghana on Metro Television. Good Afternoon Ghana this afternoon is going to be learning for a lasting peace. In fact, I'm going to be joining you for us to learn for a lasting peace. What am I talking about? Today is International Day of Education. It's a day that's been set aside by the United Nations. We'll tell you a bit more about it shortly. But this afternoon, World Vision is here to help us appreciate and to recognize the importance of this day. It's all about education, education, education. Without education, I won't be sitting here. The camera crew, the sound, the news editor, MD, whoever is here to make sure that the work goes on, all had to be educated one way or the other. And so education is very important. And so we're going to be doing a lot more conversation on this day. Now, to help us learn about the importance of this particular day is a man from World Vision. He's actually called Sasu Brako. He's Education Life Skill Project Officer at World Vision Ghana. Good afternoon, sir. It's good to have you on Good Afternoon Ghana.
Good afternoon. Thank you.
Wonderful. We're going to take a break. When we come back, the conversation will start. Stay tuned in. So welcome back. It's good to know that you're tuned in to Good Afternoon Ghana and you've made the right choice because we intend to have a conversation that's extremely, extremely crucial, very important. It's about education. Today, in case you don't know, is actually International Day for Education. And the theme for this year is that we're learning for a lasting peace. And to help us appreciate why all of us must pay attention to this day is a man who is from the who's the Education Life Skill Project Officer of the World Vision Ghana. He's called Sasu Brako. He's joined in the studio for a conversation on the back of this. Also, I will be joined in the studio by the man, Peter Anti. He's also an educationist. He's excited about today. And he will also tell us or share some insights and perspectives on why today is important. Today's event is important. So, Sasu, once again, welcome to Good Afternoon Ghana. I'm happy that you've been able to join us. So tell us about why International Day of Education. Any brief history about this day and why you think that we must pay attention to it?
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Morrow. Like I said, I work with World Vision Ghana as an Education and Life Skill Project Officer.
Right.
But before then, I'll be so pleased if I can quickly highlight who World Vision is and actually how we operate in different countries and Ghana as well.
Okay.
So that at least our listeners will have the chance to know who we are. Mm-hmm. So World Vision is an international partnership for Christian organization.
Okay.
And our major focus is working with children.
Right.
Families, communities around.
Okay.
The idea behind is to reach their full potential to become responsible citizens in our country, as well as the whole world is concerned. And we do this through our numerous interventions or projects that we are doing in education, and water and sanitation, health projects, life skills, resilience, advocacy, development, and many more.
Right.
So World Vision in Ghana, and actually we operate in 14 regions out of 16.
16 regions.
Very good. And by the way, education is so very paramount to us because it aligns with our core mission. That's the main reason why we are here.
Right.
Thank you.
I see. That's interesting. And so then explains why World Vision is actually championing this occasion, which is the International Day for Education.
Thank you so much, Mr. Morrow. So when we talk about International Day of Education, it is very paramount to us because World Vision is actually implementing serious projects, numerous projects.
Right.
That is actually contributing to the reading improvement in the lives of the children.
Okay.
And apart from that, we have seen a lot of numerous challenges that the world is confronting now. There has been a very financial crisis that is giving birth to poverty and then what you call social disparities. And also there has been a surge of what we call violent conflict around the globe as well as Ghana is concerned. And apart from that, this is actually leaving many children behind. And just to give a small brief about current research that UNESCO conducted, that 250 million children and youth are out of school. And also, we have about 763 adults that are illiterate now. Besides
250 kids out of school and 350, you mean
that,
million?
Yes,
Worldwide.
763 million adults are
Okay.
illiterate.
763 million adults.
Are illiterate. And we
Are
have
illiterate.
Yes, and 250
Okay.
million children and youth
Okay.
are out of school now.
Right. Now, these illiterates, we're talking about people who have been to school and yet can't read and write.
Exactly.
Or people who have not had the opportunity to go to
We
school
are
at all.
talking about the people who are out of school, they cannot go to school at all.
I see.
And then we have about the due to
The
situation
financial
like financial
constraints?
crisis,
Okay.
lack of education resources
Right.
to boost their morale to read.
I see.
And just bringing back to what we call about those who are in school, we have about 70%
Okay.
of children who are in the middle income and low income countries who are just learning in what we call abject poverty.
Okay.
And even those who are in school, it is very sad to hear that they cannot even read a single text to understand it.
I see.
So this brings to attention about the importance of education. In commemoration with our current theme that we are celebrating about the international language or international, what you call
International.
Day of Education that we are currently celebrating.
Yeah. I see. That's interesting. Now, this is the 6th.
Yeah,
It's
this
the
is the
6th.
sixth, exactly.
We are actually celebrating.
Very good.
When you look back, I mean, would you say that the celebration of or the commemoration of this day has actually lived up to expectation in terms of yielding or actually achieving the benefits for setting this day aside? And if it is yes, why? If it is no, what else do you think we can do to make sure that we draw the attention of the generality of the broader masses to a day like this and its importance?
Very good. So surely the records are there, like the current research I make allusion to regarding the UNESCO research that
Right. About the number of illiterates and dropouts.
Exactly. It's a clear indication that although we are doing, but we are not doing much.
Okay.
We are still having challenges accompanied with numerous challenges that our children are confronting in education. That is preventing them to access quality education.
Okay.
Children are not getting enough quality resources.
Yeah.
And as a result of that, it has been a hindrance. And we have what we call disparity between those in cities and those in the rural areas.
Okay.
And it's clear that those in rural areas that are many are suffering
Okay.
in terms of getting access to quality education. So although the government is doing its best, we still have challenges and we have a lot to offer.
Okay. Well, let's look at the theme for the celebration of this year's International Day of Education. We're saying, learn for a lasting peace. What informs this theme for this year's commemoration?
All right, thank you so much. It brings to light that education is a continuous process, and therefore it has no end. And we need peace to be able to thrive, to achieve this particular objective.
Okay.
Children cannot do without peace. That is why education is very rooted, because whatever we do is about education. And education has a quick role to even play when we talk about our current syllabus and what we call curriculum that are giving room to OEB and other culture, science works that we are doing in school, a way of bringing us together. And we see ourselves as unified body. Children see themselves as one person. As they read, they learn together in the same classroom and so on. Apart from that, children from different ethnic backgrounds come together to study. So in this regard, we can say that education plays a key role when it comes to sustainable peace and development.
Would you say it is even more critical at a time like this? Because we're looking 2024 and election 2024 is beckoning. Would you say it's even more critical now?
It is very, very critical because education roles extend beyond classrooms. And for us to achieve a peaceful general election, we need some key things that education can drive. First one is what you call understanding. We also need tolerance.
Yeah.
And these are two key pillars or drivers that can bring us peaceful election.
Okay.
And we can achieve that through education. So we are propagating that. We should remember peace and development. And otherwise, we cannot be able to even thrive and even give room for our vulnerable children to become responsible citizens in the society. So in this coming election, I believe that when we put this thing together in terms of education by understanding ourselves, tolerating each other, I believe that we will surely have a peaceful general.
One of the biggest criticisms that actors in this space, and I'm talking about those who consume what it is that we're teaching these kids, those who make use of it. So employers, for instance, will tell you that the quality of the quality of education that we're giving our people, our children, is usually not top notch. And so when they recruit them or when they employ them, they struggle to make use of the materials that they employ. Again, when these children, as they go up the ladder, say from JSS to say senior high, some of the senior high secondary schools will tell you that, well, it looks like the materials that are coming to us are not good enough, and so they have to do an extra work. And then when they're from senior high to university, the same problem happens, especially when they go to top tertiary institutions. They'll tell you that the materials that are being churned out from the basic level up until, or the churn out from the basic level is not really up to scratch. I don't know how concerned it's an NGO like World Vision about education outcomes, and what it is that you think that you can do to improve, as we celebrate International Day of Education, to improve education outcomes so that people are not just going through the mill. We're just putting people in class, they're coming out, and yet, really and truly, they've just been to school, but they are really not educated. So two questions in one. Is this something that bothers you? Are you aware? First of all, are you aware of what I'm saying? And does it bother you? And when I say you, I mean World Vision. And what is it that an NGO like World Vision can do to, address this challenge?
Many times, Mr. Morrow. First of all, it's our major concern because we have already started our implementation and we are doing so well when it comes to education that I will take my time to outline in order to bring to light what an NGO like World Vision Ghana is doing to uplift the literacy rates of the children as well as the teachers are concerned. Currently, World Vision is implementing an unlock literacy project. And this is an evidence-based approach focusing on improving the reading skills of the vulnerable children. And this project is very unique because it gives room to offer what you call in-service training. Currently, we have been giving training to municipal support and district teacher support teams in our areas of operation. We are also training teachers. We are also supporting teachers and then stakeholders to develop storybooks for the children to read.
Was it the ones in the system are not good enough?
Yes.
We have storybooks.
No, not really so. What I'm trying to say is that is when it's in support is
to complement what we already have.
That's
not to say that what we have is bad.
Exactly.
Okay.
All right. So with this angle, teachers are now equipped with our interventions. And then students' reading level have been improved. And I might say that currently we have reached 25,000 children in more than 10 districts with this reading level approach that we can say that their reading level have been improved. And this approach is currently going on. It is operational in our areas of operation. And this is actually complementing the knowledge of the teachers in alignment with the current curriculum, the syllables that we have. So what is our major concern, and the World Vision also is in touch or is on the ground giving our best to support, to uplift the reading level of the vulnerable children.
But World Vision can't do it alone. World Vision would need the support of other stakeholders for us to realize these wonderful objectives. Now, on a day like this, what do you think the other stakeholders must be mindful of? That's number one. And two, what is it that they can do to support these fantastic initiatives by an NGO like World Vision? Because look, bottom line is that we want our children to be educated, for them to know, so that they can appreciate, the importance of peace. If we're going to buy the theme of this of today's celebration.
Sure.
But more importantly, we want them to go to school so that they can be responsible citizens. They can be useful citizens, right?
Sure.
World Vision is only complementing what governments worldwide are doing. But then, what it is that you think that the other stakeholders within the education space can also do to complement what World Vision is doing, so that we can realize the ultimate overarching objective of producing the next set of educated and responsible citizens.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's of major concern. I would like to say that our message to our stakeholders in these celebration events is that they should rather prioritize what we call inclusive and equitable quality education for all in our plannings. Whatever they are doing, they should think about that in order to do away with the gender, the inequality that we are currently facing, and then poverty cycle as well. So whatever they are doing, they need to prioritize with these two key drivers. Also, we just want our NGOs, other sister NGOs, to understand that we have current issues. There are a lot of current issues going on in educational field. We have infrastructure problems. We have issues with what you call a provision of quality resources, textbooks around. They need water. They need what you call good health. And so, whenever they have budget, they should also think about that and support our NGOs. Yeah. And also, we like to say that they can also think about sustainability. Yes, measures. We are talking about, when we talk about stakeholders, we don't even mean being NGOs, but we also mean children, community members, community leaders should also come on board and also think about what they can do to, in their various locations, they can support the children in the idea of maintaining peace and development. And with this, when we do that, I believe the little we have provided and what they can do will also help to uplift the image of our vulnerable children.
What's the level of interaction and level of engagement with other stakeholders? Like, how regularly do you, for instance, meet the Education Ministry, GES, and all other persons who are responsible for making sure that education is top notch? Do you have such interactions? Do you have engagement with them? How is it going? Yeah,
so every year, World Vision casts or offer what you call in-service training for what they call the district teacher support team or the municipal support team yearly.
Right. Okay.
And coupled with that, we support them to conduct what you call routine monitoring.
Okay.
So they have about 9 months that they conduct what you call the monitoring. And World Vision also has a tool called MICA tool, Measuring Evidence of Quality Achieved tool. It's a tool that they use to monitor the performance of the teachers and the children in the classroom. And World Vision developed that for the teachers. And so when these supervisors go to the classroom to observe, they are able to quickly observe their performance easily and then cast out with what we call interventions or additional support that they can offer. So we do monitoring as well, support them to conduct monitoring. And we also train the teachers as well. Every year, we offer in-service training for teachers. And above that, we also have what you call community partners, like community volunteers that we are working with. We have community leaders, what we call SMCs, who are there that we also offer them a training. And we also support them to also take the lead role in what you call community sensitization. So one of the things that we've been doing in the community is community sensitization. We have also various networks that we also put in place in order to support them to keep the intervention well, to sustain the well-being of the vulnerable children. We also have CVA, Citizens Voice Action. They are all what you call one of the structures in the community that we set up. And all these needs to monitor the children, what they can offer, the challenges they are going through. They can themselves be their own activists on their own problem and resolve their own problem, even when World Vision leaves the community. So these are the sustainable ventures or events or what you call activities that we are casting out in the community. And we believe with all these things, the children will be able to have a very good, what you call space to study for sustainable development.
When you talk about monitoring, because you've talked about some agencies under World Vision, or let's say the same World Vision, and the kinds of trainings you're giving to teachers and district directors of education and so on and so forth. How do you monitor if what you are teaching them okay, is actually being beneficial? I mean, whether things are improving or things are declining. How do you measure that?
Thank you so much. So for any activity that we undertake, we have what you call monitoring report templates.
Okay.
That we give it to them to actually, we develop it together. And this is a guide for them
Okay.
to measure. All the indicators are there, what they are to look at.
What are some of the key performance indicators that you give them?
Okay, one of the key performance is to monitor the reading improvement, whether the children are reading or
Okay.
not. So for that, they have a way of testing them. Yes, in their own small way.
Okay.
They have a way of testing
Is
them.
it whether they're reading or they're reading X number of books or materials, or just whether they're reading, even if it's one book per term?
It's not about that.
Okay.
But you know,
And I just need some explanation. That's what I'm asking.
very good. It's not
Yes.
about one book per term
right.
or whatever per term.
Okay.
But what actually it looks like is that in our measuring performance, we have two types. We have yearly one,
Okay.
and then we have monthly one that they do observe.
But you don't have quarterly.
We even quarterly,
Okay.
so any time they undertake monitoring, they have a way of measuring them.
Okay.
And one of the things that I would like to talk about is based on what they have learned. You know, when they come for the training, there are key areas that we do what teach them. And so when they go, they also teach the children around that. So we have a set assessment questions that they use to monitor. So if a person, for instance, teaches what we call reading comprehension right now,
Okay.
and they go on monitoring, they have a simple way of testing them in the vocabularies that they have learned, based the content of what they have learned. And for that one, we give them the reason to say that they are what improving. We have what you call blending of the sound, identification of the letters, and then reading of small or simple sentences. And all these things are tests that they develop, test material they develop to test their ability, whether they are progressing gradually before the annual one that we do to measure. And that one encompasses a lot of areas that will measure their reading ability. So these are the measures we are putting in place in order
And
to
would you say that so far, so good? You're seeing value for the efforts that you've put in so far. I mean, are you seeing any significant improvement in the areas that you've been putting your efforts into? That's what I want to know.
Thank you so much. We are operating in 14
Regions.
now, but I just want to use one.
In fact, I even wanted to ask you why you're in 14 and not 16.
Yes.
So I'll come back to you on that question, but just in case you just joined us, I'm talking to Sasu Brako. Sasu Brako is with World Vision. He is helping us understand the importance of International Day of Education and some salient issues that have come up as far as our education is concerned and the role that World Vision is playing in order to make sure that our education is kosher, is top-notch, to see some, in order that we see some radical or significant improvement in learning outcomes. So people aren't just going to school, but they're also educated. For them, that's very important to them. So let's come back to you on the issue of, well, something I asked before I went on break, and I said I was going to come back to you for some explanation on that.
So you had wanted to know how they're working around the way we measure the children
improvements and so, yeah, but there was something else that I asked at this escape, but that's fine. I think it still has to do with the testing whether indeed the efforts you're putting in, all the work, the hard work that you're putting is actually yielding the results. And then there was something that came up.
Requesting for evidence of whether we've been observing progress.
Exactly. Evidence of progress.
Yeah.
Exactly. Key performance indicator.
Very
Yeah.
good. So like I said we are working in 14 regions. So
Yeah. Why 14? Why not 16?
It's a gradual process.
Okay.
Yeah. So we started from somewhere,
Right.
and surely we will cover
That's
all
fine.
the regions.
That's fine.
Day goes by.
That's fine.
So surely, for instance, in Karachi West area program, when we started this on local literacy in 2017, and we did baseline, out of 200 children, primary 2 children, we cited them for the test. Only 0.5, meaning 1% of them could read with comprehension.
Wow, that's
The end of grade 2. But after the introduction of the intervention, in just a year after, they moved to 6% when we conducted the election.
Yeah.
What do you call it? When we conducted what do you call it?
Examination.
The examination.
Yeah, or test.
Yeah, the test. So In the year after, which is 2019, and we conducted the same measuring exercise. We moved from 6 to 11%.
Okay.
In 2021, we've moved to 21%, and in 2023,
Right.
just recent ended November.
Okay.
We also recorded some improvement, moving up to from 21 to 24%.
Okay.
So it cuts across in all the areas. So it gives us hope that our interventions are having significant improvement in the lives of the vulnerable children.
Okay.
So we are calling the government to actually pay attention to what we can also offer, especially in the children in the hinterland, the communities. We can come together with several interventions, and then we believe that we can uplift the reading rate of the children in the years go by.
The coming into force of the free SHS policy and its attendant consequence of more and more persons now enrolling in school, there have been all kinds of percentages that have been bandied around. I don't have anything. I'll try and get something more official from, say, the Education Ministry. But there's been some improvement. Some improvement in terms of enrollment. Has that been a blessing to World Vision, or it's been a curse? And I'm asking this because definitely with more children enrolling in school, what it means is that you would have to get more logistics, you have to get more personnel, and so on and so forth. Are you happy a lot more people are going to school? Or you have a few concerns about free SHS, which you think that if we're able to iron out or fix, we will get better learning outcomes?
Thank you so much. I think recent allusion or references that I made with the UNESCO testifies about the number of children who are out of school. And if the free SHS is actually helping us to increase what you call enrollment, for we World Vision, we can confidently say that it is in alignment with our core mission, because our core mission is to ensure that all children have life in its fullness. So if this policy is actually serving as an extrinsic motivation to driving children from home to the classroom so that we may have better education, I believe it is in line. And it's also helping us to actually meet the needs of the vulnerable children. Because when we actually construct boreholes in communities, it's all these children that benefit in school and so on and so forth. Actually, when we also actually provide books with the same children who benefit. So it's actually give room for actually to advocate. We are advocating for more, to cover more children. So if it serves as a driver, we believe it is in line. And we're corporate to be working with other NGOs to ensure that we can, and other sponsors, to ensure that we can also come together to reach out to many vulnerable children who are up there and need support to, break the poverty circle in the near future.
But the thing is, whether you like it or not, you have more kids to take care of now, isn't it? Because there's more people in classrooms. You know that the smaller the size, the quality of education that he gets, because the teacher-student ratio must be such that he has more time to go around and, pay attention and focus on the kids and make sure that he helps them. But now you have more kids in the classrooms. I don't know if that has impacted somewhat on the work of World Vision, because, say, some 10 years ago, you went to a class, it was just 20 people in class. Today, you went to the same class, about 30 people. How has that impacted on your work as World Vision? Does it mean you've had to employ more people or get more volunteers? It means you have to increase your logistical stock and so on. So I want to know if it has impacted on your work one way or the other. I'll come back to you on that. But let me speak to Dr. Peter Anti. Okay, so I want to know whether your own assessment of the enrollment in school and how that has impacted on your work as World Vision. I don't want to get it.
Yes.
I try to break it down. Great. The numbers have gone up. Definitely means you have to do something.
Yes. Yeah, it's true. Actually, it has. If all policies have negative implications and
absolutely
implications as well.
Absolutely.
So on the other hand, it's both. for with World Vision, we can say that in terms of reaching out to many children, it has been very useful.
Okay.
Because when we are able to provide books, it's not only one child that will actually have or will benefit from it. More children can benefit.
True.
But on the other hand, it has also given us a challenge of working hard to cover more funds.
Yeah.
Because it also has implication on our funding.
Okay.
With the more children are coming to school or are being identified, it also, have implication on our funding process because we need to do more. And so this brings about what you are talking about the other challenge on the other side, that we need to work more, we need to work hard. So it has actually got an implication on our funding. And therefore, we need to also extend our scope in order to get more funding. So in that situation, we can conclude that it has gotten positive and negative as well. But we are not actually disturbed because our mission is to ensure that we cover more children to enjoy life in its fullness. So I believe it is a blessing in disguise.
When I come back, in fact, I'll be joined by Dr. Peter Antipati. He is also an educationist. In fact, he's the executive director for the Institute for Education Studies, to get him to share some insights on the importance of this day. But just recently, and it's something that I need to know before I take a short break. Just as recently, there was this story about school children who were supposed to start school first year, but despite free SHS, they've been struggling because their parents, don't have the means to buy the things that they need to be able to go to school. In some cases, they don't even have money for transportation. In some cases, they don't even have money for chop box, for trunk, and all the other things that they need. Even food is a problem. I'd like to share for you to share your opinion on this and whether World Vision, for instance, as part of your mandate, can do something about something, or that's not part of your mandate, and what you think that based on the passion you have for education, you think that the government can do to help people like this, if indeed the whole objective is to make sure that people go to school without any economic or political or social hindrance, then we need to be able to tackle this head on. This is Good Afternoon, Ghana. My name is Aldo Moro. We're talking education this afternoon because today is International Day of Education, and the theme for this year is Learning for a Lasting Peace. It's a day that's been set aside by the United Nations. Extremely important day. We like to talk a lot about politics, but education first, yeah? Education first, especially on a year like this that we're going for an election. I'll be right back after this break. All right, welcome back. Thank you very much for staying tuned in. I know that you've been enjoying the conversation we're having about World or International Education Day, and we're looking at the importance of education and why the commemoration of these days is extremely important. And World Vision has been doing justice to this topic and to tell us or to create or to establish a nexus between education and peace. 2024, we're an election year. And quite apart from that, we're looking at all the issues that have come up about Ghana's education and the role that World Vision is playing to make sure that we have quality education. And Sasu Brako is with World Vision. He's been with us in the last 35 minutes. In case you have any questions for him about everything else that he has said, please do send a WhatsApp to 0244-262-314. 0244-262-314. That's the WhatsApp line. If you have any questions for Sasu Brako. Oh, actually, so which is it? Was the 020 or the 0244? Josiah, which is which? Okay. The 0244, okay. So 0244-262-314. If you have any question about the conversation we're having about Ghana's education and the role that World Vision has been playing, please feel free and let me know. So I asked a question about free education. Free education, yes. And you talked about the fact that the introduction of free SHS has also meant that more and more people are going to school.
Yeah.
But that has also meant that an NGO like World Vision has to spend more. You need more funding. So the resources, not in terms of financial, but even in human resources. Yeah. And I asked about whether you are aware of the other challenge we have with the free SHS, where first-year students who are supposed to report to school are unable to do that because the parents actually don't have the money to support them to go to school. And I want to ask whether an NGO like World Vision can do something about this situation or actually falls out of your mandate, but then you have an idea or I have some ideas as to what the persons or the institutions that are responsible for this can do in order that there's no socio-economic, how do you call it, barrier to people going to school, which is actually the overarching objective of the free SHS.
Yeah.
You know, so I asked you about that. And before hopefully I'm joined on the phone by Dr. Peter Antipati for him to also share his view on this matter. Yes, please.
Right. Thank
please
you
go ahead.
very much, Mr. Morrow.
Yeah.
Yes, I would like to take this opportunity to just to bring to light how and the way World Vision operates.
Okay.
You know, World Vision operates.
All right. Sorry,
By-
I'm told Dr. Sorry,
Okay,
I'm told
Dr.
Dr. Peter Anti is on phone and has also joined the conversation about International Day for Education. Doc, good afternoon. It's good to have you on Good Afternoon Ghana.
To have you too.
Doc, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much for accepting to be with us on the show this afternoon. Hello, Doc.
Yes, I can hear you, please.
Good. So, as you are aware, today is International Day International Day of Education. What are your preliminary thoughts, even before I get into some specifics?
Okay, thank you very much. I believe that over the years we've all seen the importance of education in nation building, and reflecting on the theme for this year, which seems to suggest that one of the important roles education plays in the system is to promote peace. It gives us an indication that the social benefits of education should also be a focus when we are talking about the importance of education within the system, because normally we look at the private benefits of education where people who have gone through various educational process are supposed to get employed or get something to do, and then they in turn get income, support their immediate family, and then contribute to the development of the country through payment of taxes and other things. But there are social benefits of education, and one of the key benefits is using education to promote peace. That when one goes through the educational system, the structure and the content that the person is exposed to prepares the person to be able to promote peace in his environment and across the globe. Especially at a time that we are talking about global citizenship education, where we believe that the world is a global village, where we believe that we all belong to the same community, and therefore there are basic things that we are supposed to be promoting. We are supposed to promote love, empathy, collaboration, and all those things. It becomes very important that we see education promoting these social values within our system to enable us live harmoniously as people of the same community.
Wow, that's very, very instructive. Now, until this topic came up a few days ago, where the production team said, "Well, we need to look at," the production team said, "Look, we need to look at this topic, which is International Day of Education." I don't think many people actually knew there was a day like this. It doesn't look like a prominent day on our calendar. Why do you think that's the case? Is it because we're not paying that much attention to matters bothering education? We're all about the politics?
It's true. It's true. We don't normally highlight some of these days, and I think it's one of the low sides of our institutional as a system, because I'm thinking that the Ministry of Education, UNESCO have got a branch here. Let me put it that way. There are other educational bodies who are also around, and with the media houses, I think that we have not done well to promote these days, because these are some of the conversations that we need to have. These are some of the days that we need to pick important topical issues like you're doing today, and then we dissect and then we delve into it to see how best we'll be able to use education to transform our total system, especially in promoting in promoting the social values of our people. Because I think you agree with me that every individual who goes through an education system should be taught certain social tenets, social values that are cherished by the society. And if, for example, in Ghana, you spent almost 14 years of your life going through education, an educational institution from kindergarten to SHS3, that is 14 years. That is a very important period that a country can use to change the total outlook of any individual. So we have 14 years of molding the behavior of the child, and how far have we been able to be successful in doing that? What are the social values and norms that we've been able to imbibe in this case that they hold in high esteem, that we think that they will be able to push forward? If you look at conflict situations within certain areas, so it's important that we highlight this day. And then we pick topical issues and discuss and see how best we're able to get the full benefits of education, not only the monetary aspect.
Just briefly, Peter, I found it quite interesting that the theme for this year is learning for peace, learning for a lasting peace. You talked about the objective of people going to school, and oftentimes we talk about the economic benefits. So go to school and find a good job, so you can take care of whether your family, immediate, as in your nuclear or your extended family. Oftentimes that appears to be where we pay a lot more attention to. But now you have a situation where there appears to be a shift on social outcomes. And here we're talking about learning for a lasting peace, or learn for a lasting peace, which is social outcome. We are placing a lot of value on peace. Why do you think that United Nations would want to place some emphasis on the social outcomes rather than what we typically would hear, which is economic outcomes?
I think the central focus of humanity is peace.
Right.
Is stability. You see, you can make all the monies in the world, but when you don't have peace, you will not be able to enjoy the money that you have. And when you talk about peace, we are not talking about the absence of war. There can be an absence of war, but then there will be no peace within the system. Peace in terms of the environment. So we are talking about Galamsey now. A lot of focus has been on Galamsey. So communities that have their waters destroyed, it means they do not have peace because they don't have good water to drink. Communities that have their farms destroyed, they don't have peace because their farmlands have been destroyed. So if we want to achieve peace in our society, we need to work it through the educational system. People understanding that the environment is important. People understanding that living in harmony with your fellow beings is important. People understanding that it is important that everybody assist each other in a system that we are living. And I think that is why the UN is driving towards this particular direction, that economic benefits are important, but then you need to have a certain kind of peace to be able to enjoy the economic benefits that education comes with. And when we are able to use education to establish or to promote peace, then we'll be able to, by extension, enjoy the economic benefits of education also. Okay.
Thank you very much, Dr. Peter Antipati. Have a wonderful day, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right, he's an educational, but also, more importantly, he's the director for the Institute for Education Studies. It's called IFEST. That's the name of his NGO. And I'm back to Branko. We have just 5 minutes. In fact, we have 4 minutes to wrap up on this conversation. I asked about families who still can't send their kids to school because they don't have the money, they're poor. And I'm just reading, actually, what World Vision International stands for. I just went to your website, and it says, World Vision is a Christian relief, development, and advocacy organization dedicated to working with children, families, and communities to overcome poverty and injustice. Inspired by our Christian values, we're dedicated to working with the world's most vulnerable people. We serve all people regardless of religion, race, ethnicity, or gender. Do you intend to help these vulnerable people who can send their kids to school?
Thank you very much. And I really like the question that you asked because it has been a bothering question of many.
Okay.
Why can't World Vision reach out to many people?
Okay.
Yes, that is our wish. But the hindrance is that World Vision depends on funding to operate. And we are unable to receive the funding at a go to cater for all children. And sometimes we are a little bit biased in our interventions. That's why we have target communities, target children, that actually we work around them. So it's a gradual process. We wish we can. The issue of the parents who are unable to support their kids to fund their school or provide their basic needs is disheartening. And this is not an issue in one area. Even in our area of operations, we have countless of such situations. So what we've been doing is to come out with sustainable interventions. We have something called savings group, SUSU groups, and that one was actually set up by World Vision Ghana. And it is being operated in all the areas. And these also educate the parents on some of the work they can do in order to support their case. So World Vision is coming out with a lot of interventions in the community that should actually prepare so that will not make the parent become so dependent. World Vision do exist after 15 years working in a particular area. After we realize that you are okay and you can support, we move to another area of operation. Right. So this is the main reason why we are unable.
What's your final words before you take leave of us? Is there anything else you want to say just in 30 seconds?
All right, thank you so much. So World Vision is so grateful to be invited to partake in this event that we are commemorating our education, especially our teachers, the people who are in front of ensuring what you call learning for lasting peace. So World Vision would like to bring to the attention of the public that the peace that we are looking for is contextual. And it can be found at home, in classrooms. Everybody is involved. Government is involved, parents are involved, community leaders, all the partners or stakeholders are involved. So our message is that it should be the work of everyone to do whatever he can at home to ensure that we can maintain peace, provision of reading resources, visiting children, showing love to them in all aspects.
I get that.
Yeah, all right.
Right. So, you mentioned something about your logo.
Yeah, thank you so much. So World Vision will also like to bring to the general, public attention
to the general public.
That we have a group of unidentified people who are using World Vision's logos and images for fraudulent acts. And these people can be located in some satellite TVs that we cannot identify them. And we just want people to be aware that World Vision does not actually require money from anyone in exchange of the services rendered. We don't do that. So now we just want to bring to the attention to the general public to be aware, to be more vigilant of any communication or any activity associated with World Vision, to be very, very vigilant. Verify it so that they may not be falling to a victim, and also help prevent such schemes in Ghana.
All right. I want to thank you very much. Sasu Braku, you're the Education Life Skill Project Officer with World Vision International Ghana branch. Thank you very much. And it's been wonderful talking to you. You're a fantastic chap. Keep it up, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Aldo Moore. Thanks for watching. Good afternoon, Ghana. Same time, we're right back soon. Bye-bye.